Welcome to Financial Clinic, your ultimate guide to achieving financial success. Proudly sponsored by NCBA Bank. Join Sally Limo as she expertly shares invaluable tips and insights designed to empower you in reaching both your personal, business, and financial goals with NCBA Bank. Your journey to a brighter financial future starts here.
NCBA. Go for it.
My name is William Ogwima. I head agriculture within corporate banking at NCBA. Agriculture is important because it constitutes around 35% of our GDP and indirectly accounts for around 60% of all the jobs in this country. So as a bank, first of all, it's significant when we look at our business. Number two, socially, agriculture makes sure that we have food as a country, and the more reason why, as a bank, we are so keen on supporting the sector. So if I can pick tea, for instance, we finance the growers, and beyond the growing, there is the processing of tea. So we have various solutions to support the factories that process the tea. We also finance the transporters who take the tea, who transport the tea to Mombasa. And also we finance some of the brokers. I want to invite you all to the financial clinic as we discuss more about financing agriculture and what NCBA has for the farmers and all other players in the value chain.
Twende Mbele. NCBA. Go for it.
What a great opener right there by William from NCBA. Amazing, amazing. That already gives you a tip on how the conversation is going to go. Good morning. My name is Sally Limo. Welcome to this, beautiful financial clinic episode that we've lined up for you, and it's all about financing. On matters financing for agribusiness. Our SMS line is 20316. WhatsApp us on 0786316316 for any questions, comments, or compliments that you may have for my panelists this morning. And I welcome you, gentlemen, into the studio. Karibuni sana. And I'll start with you, Muriuki, to introduce yourself, and then William will do the same. Karibu.
Thank you so much for having me here. It was very nice, yeah. So thank you so much.
Karibu.
Well, my name is Muriuki Crispo. I'm a farmer, and I've done this for a couple of years now. Okay. So it has been a journey. So generally, I'm happy to do a few farming, and it has been nice. Okay. Yes, we do spices, herbs and spices, both outdoor and indoors. We also do dried produce. Okay. We dry chilies, we dry rosemary. And our market is just basically export. Okay. But lately we have acquired a very nice local market.
Karibu sana. Yes. Asante sana. William, to you.
Thank you, Sally, for inviting me to be in this show, in this beautiful morning.
Karibu.
My name is William Ogwima. I head Agribusiness at NCBA, corporate banking. Also, I support other business segments and subsidiaries on transactions relating to agriculture. Agribusiness refers to provision of financial resources to support businesses in agricultural sector, encompassing all activities from production to distribution and beyond. This includes a provision of loans, investments, and other funding to support farmers, businesses in agriculture, and other related industries to operate and grow. Wow. So as a bank, we are very keen in supporting the sector.
Fantastic. You really went ahead and started by explaining to us what agribusiness, and I love that about, how you've started, what is financing, because that was going to be my question, of course, and I appreciate that you've already told our viewers what it is all about. So coming back to you, Muriuki, then, starting with the bigger picture, what is your farm like, the growing of the herbs and spices at what scale?
We have approximately 5 acres of both mixed crops, but the bigger portion is on the outdoors ones. Greenhouse maybe 2 acres. The 3 ones, they are just outdoors.
Okay.
So we do all sorts. We also get crops from others, and it all depends with the market and a few strategies.
Okay.
We've been doing this because it helps us get money, it gets employment, and also it helps the community, because we also help people who come to work with us. We get them jobs.
Okay.
Yes.
So you create job opportunities.
Yes.
All right.
We can hire up to 20 or 50 people depending with what we are harvesting.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Now, to you, William, are there different types of, financing options for people in agriculture, farmers? Do you have different types of options for them?
Yes, Sally. We have different options, and we can look at it twofold. First, we can look at agribusiness, agri-finance from agri subsectors, and we can also look at it from the value chain.
Okay.
The commonly used approach is looking at the value chain, where you look at production. And in production, you would give financial assistance to farmers to buy the inputs, that is the fertilizer, seedlings, and the necessary machinery. When you go to production, when you go to processing, you would give loans to support processing of the agri commodities output. And in this I mean activities such as milling of grains, packing of fresh produce, and say canning of fruits, among other crops that we have.
Okay.
When you go to distribution, you'd look at giving financial support to players in transport of the agri produce, the players, the storage, and also marketing of the agriculture commodity.
Okay.
In distribution, you'd look at facilities like asset finance.
Yes.
As we all know, NCBA is the home for asset finance. Right. And we account for 36% of all asset finance business that is done in Kenya. Still in distribution, you'd also look at solutions like distributor finance programs. Not to forget, there are many other industries that support the entire value chain in one way or the other, such as the companies that produce fertilizer, supply seedlings, and the companies that supply machinery. So that's all when it comes to the various options that we have to finance agriculture from a value chain point of view.
Okay, well, that was profound. Okay, and for you, Muriuki, being a farmer, and now we're talking about matters financing for agribusiness. What kind of financial support did you receive as a farmer? Was it a loan? Was it asset financing? Was it capital? And how did that boost your business?
Personally, I got the financing for the car, but I also have a few colleagues who have done facility financing, code rooms. We've had a few other clients of ours who have got direct financing, where they get funded to do their projects.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And it is a boost to us, to the community, and to the farmers. You know, the biggest challenge is capital. And to all my clients, to all my friends and colleagues who want to do farming, the first issue they encounter is, Mariuki, where do I get funding? Where do I get money to do what you are telling me to do? And we now have that piece of the puzzle, and we are slacking out. We have the last link. You know, I forgot to clearly say what we do at my place. We don't only do the farming, but we also help farmers invest. So, and the question that I always come across is, now Mariuki, you have the market, you have seedlings, you have the experience, you have the market, you have all the things that we need. Mariuki, where do we get financing from? I think to the viewers and the friends and people who always ask me, Mariuki, where do we get financing from? I have the answer.
Today we have the answer here.
Yes, yes.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, and that's why William is here.
Yes. So, generally, capital is the biggest challenge. We have other small challenges here and there, but the capital is the biggest one.
So what was for you, what did you benefit from? Was it the loans? Was it?
Yes, it was the kind of funding of the van that we transport seedlings with.
Okay.
And it's an advantage because we didn't have that.
Okay.
And it will help us, and we are waiting to get more from him. He has a couple of baskets of other things that we'll get.
Fantastic.
But of course, we want to make it better, also for him and also for the farmers.
Okay.
Yes.
And you see, when you know, he's talking about people asking him, William, you know, where can I do this? How does one start that? And also, how is the eligibility criteria like for agribusinesses probably to even access loans from you as NCBA?
So, as a bank, we think outside the box.
Right.
But we have a very simple criteria when it comes to appraising lending, borrowing requests.
Okay.
And we use the 5 C's of credit. That is the first one is character. This is where we look at your borrowing history.
Okay.
How you've performed in the past, if you have borrowed, how you are able to pay, and whether you've had challenges in the past.
Okay.
The second thing that we look at is ability to pay. What we do, we look at your cash flows, just to make sure that the facilities that you're asking for are within your ability to service.
Yeah.
The third thing that we look at, we look at the balance sheet, the net worth of the business, just to make sure that your business is able to take care of the facilities that you're asking for, and in case of issues, you have some reserves that you'd run to and make good your obligations. The third criteria that we look at is whether you can be able to give security. At times, depending on the kind of request that you are putting across, you may need to give a collateral, and in that case we would evaluate what that would be, and the very last criteria would be the prevailing market condition, and then the various conditions that then we would put in the facility, and whether the business would be able to meet them. As I started by saying, as a bank, we think outside the box. Sometimes we appreciate the challenges when it comes to agribusinesses, because it's characterized by small business, most of which are not well organized. And what we've also come to appreciate is that majority of those businesses act as outgrowers, as suppliers, and distributors of bigger businesses. So to take care of the small businesses who are not able to properly meet the criteria, we come up with programs, and we will be able to give you facility anchored on the bigger, on you, the customer that has enrolled you to the program. As Muriuki said, they have outgrowers in farmers who grow for them. So in his instance, in his case, we would look at lending to those farmers. Then because he is more organized, he will be able to manage them on our behalf. So we will not be very strict when it comes to individual due diligence. Yes.
Okay, wow. I hope farmers, and I know they're actually listening both on TV and radio. So wherever you are, remember to be talking to us on 20316 SMS line. Keep sending in your comments, your questions, and also on WhatsApp line 0786 316 316 is where you can send in your questions. Muriuki, apart from the funding bit, mambo ya pesa, is there anything else you benefited, like probably financial literacy, as a farmer? Are you taught by the bank that, this is how you handle your money? Things like that. Yeah,
we receive training. This is where they let you know how to manage whatever you got. Okay. How to capitalize all the points, how to work on your returns, and how to spend them. Also, there is the special case of where you are shown, or rather you are guided on how to make sure you don't go into losses, because it's like business like any other. You are given the funding and you're not shown, then you might be in danger of losing what you just acquired. So the good thing is they give us a special training where you're shown on a few aspects on how to manage what you have. Okay. And this also should apply to anyone who gets the funding. Not only the farmers, you come across anyone else. There should be the small guideline or a kind of a setup where a farmer will be shown a few aspects. Okay. Sali tumekupatia 2 million, this is how you manage it. This is how you reduce your risks, and it will help. And I think that is the part of the NCBA thing that we are glad about. Okay. Yes.
Fantastic. And for you, William, for example, I come in as corporate, probably we come in as corporate. How do you then come in and just assess our businesses and get to know our financial health and agree, okay, now this one we are able to fund? How do you go about that?
Yes, for me to be able to assess your financial health, I'll come to you. Okay. Actually, as a bank, it's our policy to meet our customers at their areas of at the business where the business is situated. Right. So that we sit down, we understand your operations. To be able to evaluate your business health, we would review your business plan. Yes, once we review your business plan, we would be able to understand the business cash flows. Okay. We would be able to understand the profitability of the business. We would be able to see your budgets and forecasts. And we would also be able to see where the business is placed in the market and your competitiveness and your competitive edge, yes, in that market. And that is what would help us determine your success and how your business will operate in an ever-changing and competitive market. Right. Yes. Yeah. And I remember when you were talking about eligibility, you talked about, you also look at the ability of someone to pay. Yes. What happens to, farmers now who there's crop failure? How do you manage something like that? Yes, we've come up with credit insurance in partnership with insurance companies.
Okay.
As you also know, we as at NCBA Group, we also have an insurance, NCBA insurance.
Yeah.
And we would be able to ensure that the risk of crop failure. Yes.
Okay. For you, Muriuki, as a farmer, how have you protected yourself or ensured that just in case there's crop failure, what happens? And you have to pay for this loan or whatever, product you've taken from the bank.
Yes, we have a few methods. First, we diversify. We don't do one crop.
Okay.
We don't do one market. So we have export, but we have an option to do local production. We don't go for fresh only. We have another option for dried. So let's say our crop had issues and it's not good quality.
Yeah.
We'll decide to dry it. So if I had more rains and I had issues, I'll decide to dry. Okay. I think we also have insurances, as he said.
Fantastic.
We also have insurances, and we also have. You diversify. You can decide to have your 5 acres here in Meru, then do a couple of others somewhere else. Let's assume in Meru it rains heavily and you lose your crop.
Yeah.
In Rongai, it will be slightly different. Yes.
Okay.
Also, we have done the countermeasures where we are planting maybe drought-resistant crops with crops that are tolerant, and we also introduce the crops that are handy to fail. Now, some of the crops we do are rosemary, and they are very perennial and very hardy.
Okay.
So by introducing those hardy crops, we are towards the side of repaying the losing. And of course, other small measures where we have to counteract before the issues catches us with us.
Okay.
We know it rains in this month, so we have our terraces, we drain water, a few other things that farmers will be doing. But the key one or the best one to have is insurance. And we'll be urging all farmers to take insurances because they're not that expensive. And they'll save you in such issues where you have crop failures, drought, pest, and so on.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
But in spices, herbs farming, if you get your mathematics right, your chances of losing are slightly lower. Yeah,
okay.
Because those crops are not as delicate as people think. Also, they are perennial.
Okay.
Yes, so you have issues this month, next month you'll be better.
You'll be better.
Yes, you don't lose the whole crop.
Okay.
Yeah, you have flight issues this month, next month you're better.
Okay.
So farmers who are doing should come to our side because to my experience, the last 10 years, I've had a very nice and smooth business with spices.
That is fantastic. And because you have had that smooth journey, I also want to know from NCBA, what are some of those special rates or offers that you have for agribusinesses? If we're coming in to you as NCBA, then what are those special rates that you'd give us as a corporate? We're coming in as farmers. What are the incentives? Yeah. Yes. What are the incentives in there?
Okay. First of all, as a bank, we have a pricing methodology.
Okay.
And we try as much as possible to, of course, price us up at a small margin just to keep the bank afloat. But we try as much as possible to be fair to our customers. In addition to that, there are times when we run programs and sometimes in partnerships with DFIs, multilateral lenders, NGOs, when there are projects with special objectives. And in that case, we would source funding that is relatively cheaper.
Okay.
Just to make sure that we meet the various objectives that needs to be achieved.
Okay. Wow, fantastic. There you go, there you have it. And this is just the first bit of of financing for agribusiness. This is a discussion we're having this morning, and remember to talk to us on 20316, which is our SMS line. 0786 316 316 is our WhatsApp line. And also just a reminder that this coming Friday, Easter, we'll be having a very interesting day. That Friday we'll start by prayers for our partners. On that day we'll be praying for you because you've been with us, holding our hands, praying for us as well. So it's our turn to be praying for you. Please send in your prayer requests on that day. It will be about that. And also in the evening we shall be celebrating a unique prayer circle that we'll be having on that day. So remember to join us from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. I'll be there, and I expect to also see you there. So we'll be taking a very short break, but we'll be right back with more on matters financing for agribusiness.
Kote nchini matumaini, tujitahidi, tujivunie, tuendelee mbele, twende mbele, 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 tuendelee, twende mbele, 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 twende mbele, tuendelee, mbele, Kenya twende mbele,
Kenya,
tuendelee.
twende mbele. NCBA, go for it.
Absolutely, NCBA. Go for it. Yeah, here we are. So we come back, and we are coming back with amazing questions for both my guests, on our, and I'm seeing more questions. There's someone who has asked, good morning, Sally, and I'm happy to follow this conversation. Ask Mwiti the cost of setting up a greenhouse and what it involves. Then ask William if NCBA helps their client identify right market and even exporting knowledge. Some farmers wish to export, but they don't know how to go about it. All right, the experts are here. Let them tell us if it's possible to, probably identify a right market. William will tell us. And then for you, Muriuki, tell us how much you charge for, someone wants to know, setting up a greenhouse.
Well, each greenhouse comes with different prices, but we have a price range, or rather a cost range. For a standard 8x30, it's 200 to 300,000. Okay. Depending on the material. We have most of the clients will ask for second-hand material, so we have a budget for that, and we have the other case of clients who want new one. So a new one will be up to 350,000 Kenya shillings, one block. So one block should range, a new one should range from 300 to 350. Okay. A second-hand one may be from 200 to 250. Okay. So the price might change, maybe the distance, but that would be the absolute cost range.
Okay. Yes, okay. Yes. And for you, William, what is it possible for you to identify right market? Someone also wants to know if a farmer wishes to export and they don't know how to go about it. Does NCBA help?
So as NCBA, we organize industry forums, and we invite all the players, right from the farmers, potential farmers, and all other players in the various subsectors, including some of the buyers and the middlemen who facilitate. And in those forums, knowledge is shared. So that way, the farmers and the potential farmers would be able to get that information.
Fantastic. That's awesome. And again, I think this again goes for you, NCBA, I'm so much interested in farming, but leasing of land doesn't sound good for farming businesses. Does NCBA come through if one needs funding to purchase land?
Yes, we do have shamba loans, and through the product, we would be able to finance acquisition of land.
Okay. And probably just still on you, what are some of the challenges that agribusinesses probably face as they come to seek for the, that support that a farmer may need?
Yes, I want to focus on three main ones.
Okay.
So, first one is climate.
Okay.
As you all know, most small-scale farmers use rain-fed production, and sometimes suffer their losses just in case if the suboptimal rainfall.
Okay.
So to support them, first, for those who may be interested in irrigating, we do support them to irrigate and connect and have water through boreholes. The other support that we also give, just to make sure that we are able to sort out the problem as NCBA, is resort to credit insurance to insure for the crop failure.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah, and Muriuki, as a farmer, do you feel like, NCBA, they understand the challenges that farmers face, especially on the large scale side of it?
Yeah, maybe they have to add more effort to go deep into farmers who are doing it on a smaller scale. You might be knowing, they might be knowing on the bigger scale, but we have other small challenges to farmers that they need to go and get. But so far, so good.
So far, so good. Amazing. Again, I'm seeing a lot of interactions here, and I'm glad that farmers are actually here watching, or people who want to be, farmers. Someone is saying, hi, Sally, kindly ask the loan limit for agribusiness financing from NCBA Bank. How long does it take to approve for an agribusiness loan? The Egyptian king is asking.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So, as NCBA, we don't have a loan limit.
Okay.
The limit that we actually have as a bank is what we are limited by the regulatory approvals, which is based on our capital. So we can give any amount as long as our balance sheet allows.
Okay.
On the timelines, we have different products ranging from asset finance, which takes 48 hours, and other solutions which could take a little longer depending on the security perfection, approval and security perfection and complexity of the transaction. But I would want to say that I think the least would take a day, 48 hours, and for us to be able to get back to a customer, because sometimes it's an approval, sometimes it's not an approval, we would be able to get back worst case in 14 days.
Okay. And still on NCBA, does NCBA offer tailored solutions for specific sectors in agribusinesses, for example, dairy, horticulture, and all that?
Yes, and just to clarify, as a bank, we have segmented our agri-business into 7 subsectors. That is dairy, horticulture, tea, coffee. We have industrial crops. We have agri-processors and sugar. Okay. So we have tailor-made solutions. And if I can pick dairy, for instance, we would support the milk farmer all the way to the transporter and the processor, and beyond the processing, even the distributor who make sure that the milk gets to the final customer. So to the daily farmer, we would have solutions that would make us extend loans to them to buy for their own personal effects, to buy inputs such as agrovet supplies, insemination services, and all other needs that they have, and we would bucket them into one-stop shop under the program, just to make sure that the farmer can access them and pay later when they are paid.
Fantastic. Mukulima,
Yes,
you want to say something?
Yes. There is the question of the market, and I saw it somewhere.
Yeah.
So the best, I think, to add on that, we have groups. Also, I know a few Facebook groups, Twitter and other groups that I've seen farmers ask these questions and get answers.
All right.
We have marketing groups. I think someone was asking about the forums. I can always share a few. But the best method to get that help is from an experienced consultant who is a farmer. And there are farms, private farms, that are guiding farmers on how to invest on spices and all markets. So we have one, and I know a couple of others, where farmers get that first-hand information. This is where we know William wants to farm, and he gets to see what he wants, he gets explanations, knows the cost, knows the do and don'ts, and then you can now start. Yes, we have a couple of forums and a couple of trained consultants just under that.
All right, that's fantastic.
Yes.
Okay. And for William, let's talk also about women, because people assume it's only men who go for, you know, into farming. Do you have any loan products targeted at women-led agribusinesses, maybe?
Yes, first of all, the products that I've just spoken about, actually the biggest uptake is by women.
Oh, wow.
Because if you look at majority of small-scale farmers, they're actually women. So we support a lot of women in every other product that we offer as a bank.
Awesome. So it's all inclusive. That's fantastic. And
Sally,
yes, Moti.
allow me to cut you short.
Yeah.
Concerning the greenhouse part, there is a myth that people think greenhouses make more money than the outdoors. I am confirming it is not true.
It is not true.
You can make more money as the greenhouse on an outdoor.
Okay.
All you need to do is have the right crop and get the right mathematics. This suits all farmers, because at times not all of us can afford 300,000 to put 5.
Okay.
Remember, for you to get good money, you need at least 4 or 5. One cannot give you good returns.
I agree.
Yes.
And also just on that, because we're now talking about money, you know, maybe the viewers or listener may want to understand, before this financing, you know, from the bank, then how was your farm? How did your farm look like? And how better is it now? You know, probably you've created more employment because of this kind of financing.
Yes, you see them, when we got the truck now, we had more trips, more saving, and lesser costs. So this client asked for seedlings in Rongai. You don't have to go and hire a truck. And now this saves you a lot, and you get to add more. In fact, we had maybe 5 greenhouses, now we have more.
Okay.
Yes. It saves time, and you get your seedlings delivered at your convenience. With Sunday, you deliver, you know. When you are hiring, you don't get more on Saturdays, and at times they are late, and a few others.
Okay.
It is to the advantage of whoever will get funded, because you get more and more.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So it's a good thing to be financed. That's what you're telling the other farmers.
Yes. You see, I realize if you don't get it right and get the quality of things you want, then you'll have challenges.
Okay.
So if you don't have a cold room and you exporter, William, you have issues because of your quality. You don't have good pack house, and you are doing maybe French beans or chilies. Then your business is at a risk. And that's why we say if your farmer cannot afford it firsthand, let's have this option of financing. It will save you big time.
Fantastic.
Yes.
There's a question also, William, this is for you again. I think just following up on those forums you talked about, someone is asking, how can I get information about the next forum?
Okay. We usually put the information on our website.
Okay.
We send direct invites to those who are in our network, but we also put the invitation on our online portals.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And just still on you again, you know, how then is it possible that there are people who are outside the urban centers that are able, how do you reach them? Those are outside, you know, the urban centers, people in the rural areas. How do you reach them?
Okay. First of all, we have branches spread across the country. And we have our staff who are situated there, who interact with the locals, in the localities, just to make sure that they speak to potential customers. And our branches are also open for anyone who would want to walk in and get support or advice. Yes.
I don't think I want to end this conversation without, you know, let's talking about matters technology. How is tech reshaping, you know, the agribusiness when it comes to in the country? Technology, any digital, you know, apps that probably you have for agribusiness for farmers?
Yes. First of all, with the advancement of technology, this helps us, of course, in doing the analysis. Because, you know, nowadays there are tools that make the work easy. The other thing on the farmers, and especially at large-scale farming, for instance, farmers have deployed technology that is use of drones just to monitor the crop and weather patterns. And that is really gonna influence agribusiness in future. Yes.
Awesome.
The other thing is just sharing information and being able to interact with markets, which is also facilitated by technology.
Yes. Okay. Muriuki, you know, when you immediately after you took you got your finances to support your business. This is now as your closing remark because we are almost coming to the end of the show.
Too bad.
This is the question that probably be ending the show with. Has anybody, like after you've gotten your finances for your business, has anybody or do people, a team come to follow up like, okay, so how are you doing? Or ukishapatiwa pesa, that's it?
No, they do follow-ups. We get emails, we get phone calls. I've had a couple of guys show up at the farm, which is good because I would be more happy if I saw them come and check. Maybe for other financing needs, but they always come and pop up. But we also have WhatsApp chats. They will text and so fast for this.
Okay, fantastic. And maybe also, William, as we wind up the show, what would be your last words probably to the farmers, to someone out there who wants to get finances, you know, for their businesses?
Okay. First of all is to thank all who have tuned in to listen to us. I believe the show has been quite educative. What I would want to tell them is that to walk in to any of our branches. And we have a lot. And as I said, as a bank, we think outside the box and we are able to tailor-make solutions for everyone depending on their situation. So come, we should be able to serve you.
Fantastic. I love what you've said. Tailor-make for every person or every group, you tailor-make for them. Fantastic, fantastic. And as I end, I'll just read one more comment from Liz, and they say, morning, Sally. I want to know more about the forum and how I can join. And for sure, Liz will be able to reach out to you and give you the contacts of NCBA, or you can go to any of their branches. It's about what, 99? Are they like 99 in the country?
Yes.
So, but we'll be able to send all that information to you, Liz. And I want to say asante sana to our viewers and our listeners, wherever you've been watching us from or listening from this morning. And also not forgetting that we have a very special community or group of people called partners who've been holding our hands for the last 25 years, you know, working with us to bring you such amazing content and blessing people in one way or the other. So if you want to be part of this group, then you can send the word partner to 20316, which is SMS line, or 0786 316 316 is our WhatsApp line. And also, if you want to support this particular course, this particular ministry, you can do that by sending in onto our pay bill number 316 316. Send whatever contribution you may want to or support, and the account number will be your telephone number. So pay bill number 316 316, and the account number will be your telephone number. Asante sana, and remember, on Friday it is our Partners Prayer Day. We'll be praying with you, so keep sending in your prayer requests. And also in the evening, 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. we'll be on a prayer circle, you know, having lots of fun as we celebrate. Remember, it is Easter, and we'll be celebrating Jesus Christ. God bless you and keep you, and remember, it's all about NCBA. Go for it.